The Rebel Alliance. It's your responsibility. Don't fail me again, Admiral. Lord Vader returns in Rogue One. Now, that's deceiving. But then again, it's not. Rogue One is the story of how the Rebel Alliance, not how they started and got together. It's not about that at all. They're already together and organized. This is about the mission to destroy the Death Star and how the plans came to be. And it's the continuation, well, it's the prequel as to why they were being chased in episode 4. And we saw them, as soon as the picture come on, they're being attacked and being chased by Darth Vader's his battleship. Now, started off, you know, I want to say there will be some spoiler points in this. I waited to do this review, even though I wanted to do it immediately after the movie was over, because you feel of adrenaline and emotion, but I wanted to let things die down so I can give you an honest review and give some people a chance to go see the movie anyway. But here's the review that I have on the film, where I could, now that I've had some sleep and got up, I can give you an honest review of this film. When they have dun, 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 it started off a long time ago. You think you're gonna hear dun, 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 dun. Forget that. There's no explanations. There's nothing. They just go right to the movie. Boom. You like, what? And you're like, is this gonna be a B version of Star Wars? That's what you start to wonder. So you're a little nervous going into this. But as it plays out, it's a little bit more grittier than a lot of people would understand. But a lot of things that just sent out of place. It seemed like Star Wars, but it kind of was missing that feel a little early in the movie, because the stormtroopers seemed more like somebody who's a construction worker just decided to put on a stormtrooper outfit. They didn't move like troops, like organized soldiers. One guy looked like he was just slouching around. I'm like, it's not a stormtrooper. A stormtrooper wouldn't be slouching around like that. So I automatically thought he was a rebel hiding in a imperial uniform, because they're all about order and structure. But I omitted that. And as the film started to break down, they're going to the backstory of this character, this little girl and her family, and her father. He's the guy that they need to make the plans for the Death Star, to be able to make this weapon that they want to do. They need this guy to achieve it. Now that they have him, and he's agreed to go ahead and do this, his daughter has been safely put away and trained by Forrest Whitaker's character, who was in the Clone Wars, where they just basically put him in here so you can identify him with that. And there was a lot of great cameos in the film that kind of like made the movie for me, that I loved. But the movie started to pick up and excel once they started to get things going. And what I did like was they didn't have good guy, bad guy. It's all about point of view, because the rebellion isn't all squeaky clean either. And that's the way it is. Everybody is a good guy in their own mind, with their own, dealing with their own point of view. The Empire feel like they good guys, and the terrorists are the rebellion. The rebellion feel the same about them. They both do shady things. And this is how it is in real life. You got people who in the rebellion who broke off and started their own rebellion because they don't agree with how the rebellion's going. So it's anarchy, basically. And on the other side, they're like, look, we are superpower, because if you don't like it, you're killed. So it's like, look, deal with it. And that's basically it. So the movie starts to pick up and excel once it, get their characters and you get them the blind swordsman Donnie Yen. I didn't like some of the, you could tell Disney's imprint is on it. You hear lines that would be on the cutting room floor. That's a little Disney. Disney gets you that extra corny line that's not needed. Where Disney came in and said, "Hey, how about this?" If he says that, Yowie, something really stupid like that. Yeah, it's a couple of moments like that in here. Like they had to, like Disney was contracted that they must say these stupid things. And they had Donnie Yen say something really stupid and corny like that. And I said, yeah, that's Disney. I think Donnie Yen said something real corny like, "Is that your foot?" And I'm like, Disney. Disney, come on. Let's cut the Disney out. It was some Disney in The Force Awakens too. Like, oops, wrong button. But the overall scale, scope, and direction of the film was amazing. Like some of the shots were great that you wish you would have saw and threw you back into episode 4. That you saw it from like different angles, and it was amazing. I wish they would have just stayed out there in space sometime. But it kind of drug on a little bit. It kind of had, the pacing was just a little off, just a little bit, to where you're like, okay, this is really dull here. Like this is boring. I mean, at one point, the robot, the wisecracking robot, he was comic relief for the film, and then it's like they just kept him going and going to like make him like a Jar Jar Binks type of character. But he actually had use, and he actually, was making valid points at first. Then it just became like, overly done. I guess somebody realized and said, okay, like, let's kind of put him on chill for a minute and let's go back to why we're here, And once they started focusing on why they were there and the mission, and then you started to see the structure of the actual film. It looked like they had a story. It wasn't enough for 2.5 hours, so they had to pad 2.5 hours together. But in the end, you see it breaks down just like episode 4. She sees a hologram of her father. The girl, when she's grown up, she sees a hologram of her father, makes her want to go ahead and be a rebel now, join the rebellion. When, she really couldn't care less about the rebellion and joining one. Now she's like, I'm with the rebellion. Yes, my daddy was on a hologram. Luke Skywalker saw a hologram, and that inspired him to join the mission. He was already ambitious, but the hologram set him off. So it's basically the same thing, and they experienced loss. The daughter experienced loss, and Luke experienced loss, and here we go. Now we on this mission to fight the rebellion. Keep the dream alive. Keep the rebellion alive. So Forrest Whitaker style. And oh yes, every scene Lord Vader ends in is worth the price of admission. Just to see Darth Vader. Now don't think this is Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi. This is Darth Vader before Empire Strikes Back. He was still young, young enough to do some things, and his suit wasn't all the way. So imagine his suit and how cheesy it looked in episode 4. That's how it looked in this one. They got it right. Don't make his suit super better and everything else. Make it just look as generic as it did in episode 4. And they did that to perfection. They had the look of Darth Vader, because that's exactly what he looked like. Now, when Empire came around, he was all dappered up. The mask was done, the chest piece was done up. He got some bread in his pocket. So, he was running some things. So now, with all of this going on, The ending was epic. It clearly set you up for episode 4. I want to watch episode 4 right now. That's how amped I was. I ran out of there looking for episode 4. I'm out. Oh, my review on it. Like, what did I rate it? I rated 3.5 stars out of 4. Oh, hell no. After the ending, 4 stars. What am I talking about? That ending right there, 4 stars. Sorry. I gotta go.